The hidden importance of pre-construction meetings that you must know. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about one of the secret weapons that any job site can use, even when you're in trouble and in a little bit of a bind, that anyone can start to use to prepare work. Because I've said it over and over, and I'll say it again. Speed in construction does not come from rushing, pushing, or panicking. It comes from making work ready. And the pre-construction meeting does that beautifully and remarkably. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why it's important, what the agenda is, how you can execute it properly, and how you can actually have some fun with it and focus there for better results on your project site. So if you're into that, stay with us. We're going to have a good time. Okay, so pre-construction meetings are my jam. I love it. You've probably heard me talk about the 6 different habits of a builder. Let me just go through them because it's great content. And I'm begging for your liking and subscribing and commenting of this video. Anyway, so I'll give you additional content here. So great builders, number 1, are in the plans and specs 15 to 30 minutes a day. They're in their production plan 15 to 30 minutes a day. They do field walks 15 to 30 minutes a day to make sure that they're triggering the planning of work and staying out ahead. But there's 3 additional long-term habits which are crucial. Number 1, pull plan every phase with your trade partners. Number 2, and you can adjust the order here, but let me do this order right now. Do look ahead and weekly work planning out ahead to see, find, and remove problems so that you can prepare work. And then the last one is do a pre-construction meeting 3 weeks before your trade partners start on the project site. It's genius. If you do those 6 things, you'll win every single time. It never fails. And let me give you an analogy. If you added 10 new trained people to every crew on your job site right now, I promise you, you wouldn't go that much faster. Because is the work being made ready? Or would those additional 10 people just be standing around and costing money? That is the question. Pushing does nothing but cost us money and extend project durations. But making work ready out ahead of the crews you have will always make you go faster and always help you to flow. And so the typical thing that happens in our industry is we're like, hey, I'm going to see you on the 11th. And the trade partner's like, hey, I'm here. It's the 11th. What are we doing? And, oh, well, I guess I needed a generator. Oh, I don't have the materials. Oh, that's in my way over there. And every time a trade partner mobilizes, it's like it's this surprise and it's this delay and it's a roadblock and it's a problem and we're not ready for it. And it just keeps extending the project site and frustrating everybody in the production flow. It's horrible. It's a nightmare. So prepare the trade partner 3 weeks ahead. These are the plans. These are the specs. These are the submittals. These are all the answered RFIs. These are the expectations. Let's come up with an installation checklist that you can use. Let's make sure that you're ready when you start in the next 3 weeks. That's crucial. Now, let me say 2 things here real quick. I always say 3 weeks ahead of time, because if the trade partner comes to the meeting and you don't have time to review the plans and specs in the meeting, and they haven't read the plans and the specs and they're not ready, you still have time to cancel, reschedule the meeting so you're at least 2 weeks out, because it's crucial to make sure that the team going to that meeting has read the plans and the specs and are familiar with the submittals and they know what they're doing and they have something meaningful to talk about. Okay, that's number 1. The other thing is, when companies call every now and then and they're like, Jay Money, we're 3 months out, we're in a dumpster fire, we're in chaos, what's your advice? And it's always the same. Pull plan every phase, do look ahead planning out 6 weeks and then in your weekly work plan, and do a quality pre-construction meeting before every one of the trades. And they're like, we're kind of in a rush, we don't have time for that. You don't have the ability to not do it. Consider this, if you're in a rush and you're panicked and you don't know how you're going to finish and you have trade partners that are stumbling over themselves, I'm not making fun of them, but because of the circumstances, and they don't have the materials, they don't have the information, they don't have what they need, and they're tripping and stumbling, and you're like, I know what we should do to finish on time. Let's make sure that the 10 remaining contractors that are going to come finish, that we don't prepare them either so that they can stumble when they get on site. I know that'll help us go faster. No, it won't. We've got to stop the madness. The reason your project is behind schedule is because it either wasn't planned properly according to how big things get done, or you didn't create a production system like is mentioned in Built to Fail, and you're not preparing your workers for the work package. I mean, you don't have a kit of information and materials for that work package to be executed ahead of time, which means you're going to run into stops and restarts, like it talks about in the book Goldratt's Rules to Flow. So we've got to stop the madness and start preparing trade partners. So this is how you do it. Let me take you through the agenda right now. So the agendas that I format, that I'll link you to in the description below, have a couple parts. Who needs to be there? What's the purpose? What's the agenda? So let me cover those right now. The people that go to that meeting are the trade and the GCPM, supers, and very specifically, the foreman for the trade partner has to be there. I cannot express that enough. It is pointless to have this meeting without the foreman there. I know they're busy. I know they should be somewhere else. Even if you have to remote call them in or Zoom them in, they've got to be there because they're the ones that will execute the work. And also any other stakeholders that need to be there. Like it might be so important that the owner wants to be there, the owner's rep, the inspectors, the architect and engineers might want to be there. So anyone who wants to be a part of those pre-construction meetings for high-risk features of work, allow them to be in that meeting. Don't hide anything, be transparent, and you'll find that out when you talk to your owner in your OAC meetings. But those are the people who are going to be there. Now here's the purpose. You are going to, in this meeting, collect all of the deliverables, and you are going to use those deliverables as a communication tool to onboard and orient this trade partner, superintendent, and foreman to the work and gather their wisdom by listening and take all of the relevant decisions and approaches that you decide upon. And oh my gosh, this is the most important point. Put it on a checklist, or what I call a visual quality board, meaning it's a board because you're going to take it out in the field, or it could be a laminated 11 by 17. But either way, it's visual with pictures and bullet points in a format that the foremen and workers will want to read and visually see and use so that they can install the work. In my opinion, doing the buyout meeting, because this meeting, it goes buyout meeting, pre-mobilization meeting, pre-con, first in place mock-up, follow-up inspection, final inspection. The pre-con meeting is to set them up. This is when you orient the foreman, right? If you don't leave this meeting with a checklist or a visual quality board that can be used for install, it's like swimming across a mile-wide channel and drowning 5 feet from shore. We've got to take all of this preparation and put it into a format that the crew can actually use to install. So that is the reason for this meeting. So I'll go through the agenda real quick like I've been doing the other ones. First, review the owner's top 10. By this point, and I'll link you to the other videos as a part of the overall 6-step process in the description below, but review the owner's top 10. What are the key things that the owner wants and cares about? Communicate that to the foreman. Number 2, if you have a company-specific checklist for the work, review that with the foreman. Number 3, collect all pre-mobilization deliverables, meaning anything you asked for as a part of the trade partner preparation process. Anything you asked for in the pre-mobilization meeting that should be delivered by now, collect it and review it in that meeting. Number 4, as a part of understanding the scope, also understand the quality and safety expectations and review them in detail and transfer any relevant data to your field checklist or your visual quality board that you'll use in the field for installation. Number 5, in this meeting, you're going to already want to set up your first in place mock-up, your first in place inspection, your initial inspection, whatever you call it, meaning the first portion of work in one process flow that the trade partner has installed that you want to inspect according to the checklist or the visual quality board, right? Schedule that date now, knowing when that first portion of work should be done so that you can verify whether or not it's on the right track. Next, review things in the meeting like the overall schedule, the budget, testing requirements, any source or special inspections, any substrate requirements, review what their zone size will be, what their work package composition is, exactly how they'll move from area to area to area, and generally review the approach to their work. Before you leave, make sure that they understand the zoning, the logistics, and any other planning documents that are a part of that project. The purpose of this meeting is to make sure that when that superintendent and foreman leave that meeting, everyone is on the exact same page, because quality comes down to, do you know the expectations, and are you going to deliver the expectations? It's that simple. So this meeting is enabling you to know the foreman and the superintendent for the trade to know the expectations, and then that checklist or that visual quality board that's used for installation in the field will help to make sure that the crew is implementing per expectations. This is a fantastic meeting, and you should at least implement it for every high-risk feature of work, every high-risk scope on the actual project, 3 weeks ahead in a meeting, getting on the same page. If you leave with that installation guide, whether it's a checklist or a visual, you will have the ability to deliver remarkable results and hit the ground running in an effective manner and keep the project site in flow. I'm going to link you to the actual graphics in Canva for this. And I also want you to know we can help you, we can help train you, we can run these meetings for you as a practice until you get used to it. And then the other thing is, please look for our book, Elevating Construction First Planners, which will come out August 1st of 2024. This is a game changer. You got to believe me. Heck, if you even want any more information, give me a call, 602-571-8987. But ultimately, I hope you've enjoyed the content. Please like and subscribe to this video. And I really am just wishing you the best with this, because it will change everything. On we go.